Good morning. Here we are. It's August 26, 2023, and we're embarking on our second shop episode. So last week, we sort of did the exhaust side of the equation, and this week, we're going to be doing the intake side of the equation. All that glitters is gold. So what we have is a set of charge pipes, a very thick intercooler from CVF, and a whole bunch of other goodies too. And I don't think all of this is going to get installed today, but we're in the home stretch. I've got an oil separator, I've got spark plugs to do, I've got obviously the access port, an intake tube, these guys, a new diverter valve, and so on and so forth. But for the purpose of today and today's video, just to keep it a manageable length, we're going to do the intercooler, we're going to do the charge pipes, and the diverter valve, and we'll call it there. So, next time you see me, we'll be up on jack stands, possibly working outside because I don't have access to the shop today. If you're familiar with the previous video, then you'll understand what this is. This is an intake tube by Airaid and some SR Performance charge pipes, and that's the goal for today. And what we'll be topping it off with is this really neat TurboSmart VR2 rather, a diverter valve. And it's not really a diverter, it's just a VTA. And the great thing about this is it replaces what I think is probably a weak point in the Ecoboost boost tract, that being the stock diverter valve. Over time they tend to lose their effectiveness, and what I've noticed is that I have a slight stumble as I get into boost, and what I think is happening is the factory diverter is hanging open. So by replacing this and replacing these, including that weird power stroke looking rubber cold side pipe, I think we're going to get some better boost response, and the system will probably be way more efficient. One more thing of note is the SR pipes come with these frankly stupid little worm drive clamps, which will probably handle 7, maybe 10 pounds. You should not be using them on a system that has 25 pounds going through it, or 20 at the very least. These are cheap. They're available at Princess Auto here in Canada, or Harbor Freight, or a number of online resellers, and they're far superior, and these will hold all the boost you could possibly want. They're only $7 a pop, so for $60 you could outfit this entire system with these instead of those worm drive clamps, and you'll never have to take it apart again. And when your tuner is doing the tuning for all of this stuff, he ain't going to give you a call and say, hey, you're losing boost somewhere, please come fix your car on the dyno. That's the solution. Get some worm drive clamps. Okay, so when we next meet, I'll be taking the bumper off, because we got to do that. Well, there we go. once you take her makeup off, she's a bit of a pig. So at this point, I'm kind of in a dilemma because I have to do two things at once. I got to get that intercooler out of the way, and I also got to get these charge pipes out of the way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here. I'm going to get our charge pipes out of the way on both sides. Then I'm going to pull the intercooler out, install the charge pipes, and then button everything back up. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to think about that. You're coming along for the ride. So as you can see, what a strange device. I'm not sure why these are here. These plastic welds are terrible. I'm pretty sure this diverter is getting a little sleepy, so it's time for it to go. Always check your factory clamps. This one was loose. That's the throttle body one. Of all the ones you'd want to be tight, it would be that one. Thanks, Ford. No oil, that's a good sign. It's actually a really good sign. My last Ecoboost had oil all up in the intercooler. The turbo was going. This one, not so much. Come here. So the problem with soft and malleable cold sides is what happens is under vacuum, they start to go boop. And boost delivery is not consistent. You can see they get wear on them. Overall, it's a very inexpensive solution. It works for the OEM, but it doesn't work for enhanced performance. These will always let go. Okay, so here's where we're at. A little bit of an update. Because the new intercooler is too large for the AGS, what I've had to do is remove all the slats and workings from the AGS, the active grill shutters. Now, the motor lives in this frame. This stays put, stays plugged in. As far as the system is concerned, these are totally active. And as far as I can tell, the only thing you're going to lose is like 0.00001 mpg. Not worth it. Same's going to go with the bottom set. Just rip those fuckers right out. Good. Nice and clean. Alright, bit of a status update. So we have the intercooler out. We have the charge pipes out. Looking good. A little bit of oil in here, that's not good, but we'll ignore that for now. Pretend we didn't see that. And we have the air tube, the crossover tube out as well. Well, in the epitome of poor planning, I wanted to do the charge pipes with one video and the intercooler with the other. So I recorded all the lead up to the charge pipes, but I did not record anything about the intercooler, except taking the old one out. But the issue is, it's going to be very hard to fit this intercooler with the charge pipes in place, so I'm going to have to do the intercooler first. And you're going to get a very long video. Not that I wanted it to be this way, but it is what it is. Nailed it. What the fuck? Really? That's the fucking holdup? Of all the things. Okay. How are we gonna fix that? What are we gonna do with this? I have to say this about the CV Fab stuff. It's nice, it's very well fabricated, but there's no instruction manuals online. So you kind of just run up against your own lack of engineering skills when you put this thing in. And I've done that several times today. Okay, come on. All right. So these brackets that I had up there are just this tall, too tall for these standoffs. If they had just shortened these standoffs by like a 1/4 inch, we would have been fine. But of course they couldn't do that. All right, there we go. Solid. Really? You just missing? You are. Oh well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Hey, don't lose your bolts in your crash pot, because you'll have to take it all apart to shake that bolt out. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Really? Oh my god. Right off. Okay. Alright. Okay. There's a right way to do this, and there's a wrong way to do this. There is no wrong way. Okay. So the issue I'm running into here is that this intercooler is a lot thicker and a lot taller than the old one. The old intercooler sat underneath in line with the radiator. So the grill shutter, the kind of the air scoop that I want to keep because it directs airflow, is not going to work as configured with the adaptive cruise. So I'm going to have to cut that off, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. I'm frustrated. Well, the easiest thing to do when confronted with adversity is to just burn the entire village down and lie to your commander. So that's what we're going to do today. Score you down here. Score you down here. Score you down here. Ta-da! We have done the thing. I'm going to tidy this one up a little bit more. Nice straight cut. And now life can go on. Crisis averted. Look at that. Oops. Okay, so we are in. That was a lot of work. I'm not sure how much of it you're going to see for the purpose of brevity. But the problem with the aftermarket, and especially with something like Mustang parts, is that nothing fits quite right. You'd think they would, but whether it be the silicone elbows just being the wrong angle, or the tolerance between the intercooler and the charge pipe being different, or the fact that all of these parts are built with the expectation of knocking onto something that's stock. So these pipes probably would have worked great if I was using the stock intercooler. But because I wasn't, things got weird. Things ended up outsized. They ended up not having the right size coupler, so on and so forth. So I had to do a lot of running around and solving for that. But on the bright side, Everything is now in. Intercooler is in. Hot side is in with that lovely little Turbo Smart compact guy. This is in. The clamps are in. Everything's in. In. It's great. Now we move on to the next phase. That's gonna have to do. Okay, so we are all in. I've got the hot side, the cold side, and the intake crossover done. That was more work than I expected it to be, but it looks fantastic. Ignore that little bit of jankiness there, but it's impossible to get the right plug, so I just ended up reusing the hose and doing a plug each from Princess Auto. So now comes the hard part. I got to put all this back together, and it's like 32 degrees out here. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm gonna have to stop, get some water, and then start on the reconstruction. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do now, I've got all my clamps tight, I've got all my sensors plugged in. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and make sure that it's pulling the right amount of vacuum, that it boosts, and that everything's cool. Oh, I think that's a yes. Sure sounds like a yes to me. Cool. Well, that makes the whole day worthwhile. Alright, I think I'm going to call the episode here because this is going to be very long. In fact, this is going to be longer than I would have expected it to be. So for the purposes of audience retention, I'm going to wrap this one up here. In the next episode, we're going to change some lights up front. We're going to install the bumper. We're going to do a set of plugs. We're going to probably install an oil separator and install a cob access port. And that's going to be the next either 1 or 2 episodes. But thank you very much for watching. If you like it, feel free to subscribe, hit like, make fun of me in the comments, that's okay. I do this for me, not for you, but if you enjoy it, stick around. Thank you.